This week, I decided to look at one of my favorite songs from the 1980s, a song by the Cars called Drive. It's an interesting song because it has a nice sound, but it's actually, once I looked at the sheet music, it's actually pretty straightforward. So if you're just beginning, this would be a cool one to try. If you're of my age group, if you were a teenager in the 80s like me and you remember this song, you'll be happy to know that this is pretty straightforward in terms of the chords. I'll go through the chords and then I'll try a playthrough of it. The first is a C chord, so just going to take index finger on the first fret, second string from the bottom. Going to put my ring finger on the third fret, second string from the top, and then going to put my second finger on the second fret, the string right below that. That's a standard C. And then we're not going to play the top string. The next chord is C major 7. And all you have to do to go from a C to a C major 7, at least for the version that they're showing in this song, is lift up the index finger on what I just called out. It then goes back to C. And so for actually for the entire first page of the song, the sheet music I have, all they do is alternate between C and C major 7. So that's interesting that only those two chords show up on the first page. There are some other instruments in the song, like there's one little flourish sound you hear throughout the song that I'm pretty sure is played on a keyboard, but I could be wrong. But for this sheet music, that's all that shows up. On the second page, there's only a couple other chords that show up. A minor. So for A minor, we're going to put our index finger on that same position we had a second ago on the first fret, second string from the bottom. And then we're going to use our second finger and our ring finger and our second finger respectively to press down on the two strings right above that on the second fret. And we're going to play everything except the top string, including that open A string. And then we're going to play, then the D chord shows up after that. So standard D, we're going to put our ring finger on the third fret, second string from the bottom. And then we're going to put our second finger on the bottom string on the second fret and our index finger on the same second fret, but the third string from the bottom. It's going to create like a little triangle. And we're going to include the open D string, which is the third string from the top. And then it alternates between A minor and D for most of that page. At the bottom of the second page, they have a chord called C/D. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Can't talk today. C/G. And all you have to do to go from a C to a C/G is you can start with the C chord and then keep everything the way it is, and then pick up your ring finger and move it up to the top string on the third fret. And that turns it into a C/G, where the /G indicates that we've altered the root of the chord and that it's now a G, which is that top note we now have. After that, one of the most common standard G chord shows up. So we're going to put our index finger on the second string from the top on the second fret, our second finger on the third fret top string, and our ring finger on the bottom string also on the third fret, and we're going to play everything. That's the standard G chord. That's what shows up next. Let me look on the next pages and see if any other chords show up. Okay, third page, all of the notes we've covered, our chords we've covered. Just looking to see if anything. Okay. On the 5th page. Oh, and by the way, if you want to try and get the sheet music, I don't show it here for obvious reasons, but you can get a copy from the musicnotes.com is where I found my copy. I like that site because you can buy sheet music just for one song rather than a whole book. On the 5th page, I do see 2 new chords that show up. E minor. So E minor is just going to be on the 2nd fret. Use your index and 2nd fingers on the 2nd fret, 2nd and 3rd strings from the top respectively, and play everything open other than that. That's E minor. And then the next chord that shows up is F. We're going to take our index finger and bar the bottom 2 strings on the 1st fret, and then we're going to use our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret on the string right above that, and our ring finger on the 3rd fret for the string right above that one, and we're going to leave out the top 2 strings. Okay, let me see. Just looking to see if there are any other new chords that show up. That looks like that's it. So I'll try and go through it once. If you're a person that plays an instrument other than guitar, like I mentioned, there's a real nice keyboard. I think it's a keyboard little part that shows up periodically too. Let me try it one time. Who's gonna tell you when it's too late? Who's gonna tell you things aren't so great? You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. But now, who's gonna drive you home tonight? Who's gonna pick you up when you fall? Who's gonna hang it up when you fall? Who's gonna pay attention to your dreams? Who's gonna find this when you scream? You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. But now, who's gonna drive you home tonight? I'll stop there. It has a few parts after that, and then they go back and do the 2nd verse. But that's the 1st verse. If were a child of the 80s like me, I hope and you're trying to learn to play guitar, I hope this is helpful to you and you have fun with this one. Thanks. See you in the next one.